Cheers, Jason.
Sorry, had
You're
a
good,
phone
dude.
call.
You're good, dude. You want to talk some basketball real quick? I got it in front
Yeah,
of me.
we'll take a few things. Talk a few things. I believe this week the number ended up being 16 or 17 ranked losses.
Yes.
I think when you look at the schedule, though, 4 or 5 of them were unranked. The rest were all ranked against ranked games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was a crazy week.
Of
The
upsets.
AP rankings are going to be all mixed up.
Mhm.
I think that Duke is the number 1 team overall. I
By
haven't
far.
seen the new AP poll come out. Did it come out?
Yeah, it came out like 4 o'clock. Duke is number one.
Okay, that's
I
why I
think
didn't see
Michigan
it.
is
Yeah.
number 3. I think Arizona made their way back up to number 2, and I don't know who's 4 or 5.
Yeah, I mean, you had 2 versus 4, and you had 1 versus 3 on Saturday, and the higher seed ended up winning.
Yep.
Duke ended up beating Michigan, and Arizona ended up beating Houston.
And
So,
Arizona went on the road to beat Houston, which was insane.
yeah, you're going to get more and more of this.
Yep.
I think the 2 front runners right now are Michigan and Duke. I really do. I think those are the 2 front runners. I think the game they played the other night is a national championship preview, a possible national championship preview.
Right.
As much as I always like looking at Michigan State in the tournament, I just don't know if they've kind of shown a lot the last few weeks, and I don't know if they're one of those teams that can make it all the way like I thought early in the year.
Right.
Ohio State played them really tight on the road on Sunday.
You guys look really good.
We look decent. We don't have our second leading scorer in Mobley right now. His hand's broken, maybe out for the year.
Yeah. Hey, you still beat Nebraska.
6, so we were missing 2 of our top 3 offensive pieces.
Yeah. Hey, still got it done.
Bruce is 61 or just under. I think he's 59 points away from becoming the all-time leading scorer in Ohio State history.
There we go. Some history being made.
So I was actually able to see him in the game against Wisconsin jump up to 3rd and score his 2,000th career point.
Okay.
Which was kind of cool. I'm really hoping he has a big game against Iowa so that it's reachable when they play Indiana on Saturday or on Sunday this week. So that I can see him do it in person. Actually, they're playing Purdue on Sunday this week.
Yes.
But again, you looked at this week, and there's a ton of potential ranked teams that could lose. I mean, I believe we have a ranked game going on right now, a ranked versus ranked.
Yes, we do.
I believe it's Louisville, North Carolina, and then tonight at 9 you have Houston, Kansas. I mean,
yep.
Cincinnati coming off a huge win against Kansas on the road, going to Texas Tech. I mean, I have to put Texas Tech on possible upset watch after seeing Cincinnati do that. I thought Kansas would blow them out.
And Texas Tech just lost to Arizona State.
Yeah.
A week ago. So
Tennessee at Missouri on Tuesday night. That's a potential upset. I honestly think number 2 Arizona at Baylor could end up being an upset.
Okay.
Wednesday, you've got 15 St. John's at UConn, so you're going to have a ranked team lose there. Number 7 Florida at Texas, that could be an upset game. Georgia taking on number 25 Vandy. I see that as a high possibility of an upset game.
Yeah, because Missouri just beat them last week, held on by 1. I think it was like a last-second shot against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt went
Texas
through it. They
A&M.
took 2 tough losses.
Texas A&M at number 20 Arkansas on Wednesday, another upset watch.
Yep.
Thursday, you've got Michigan State at Purdue, 2 ranked teams. I mean, you look at the schedule. Number 3 Michigan at number 10 Illinois on Friday.
Saturday is a gauntlet.
Saturday, number 11 Virginia at number 1 Duke. Seton Hall at number 6 UConn. 24 Louisville at Clemson. 25 Vanderbilt at Kentucky. Then you get 2 really good ranked games, 14 Kansas at 2 Arizona, Texas Tech at Iowa State. Nebraska having to go out to USC is a scary game on Saturday. It's not as far as some of the other Big Ten teams, but still a scary game when it comes to upsets. number 17 Alabama at Tennessee, and then the other game at 8:00, Big East. I can't figure out the Big East this year. Villanova at St. John's. I feel like that's going to be an upset.
Yeah.
I feel like Villanova has a team. They're not quite back to what we're used to seeing them at, but they are back to playing at a high level that really makes me wonder, can St. John's hold them off?
Mm-hmm.
Villanova, to me, is a team that could steal a bid, steal one of the automatic qualifier bids, and force UConn and St. John's and some of these other Big East schools to fight their way into the tournament as an at-large, which is going to take a spot away. Number 20, Arkansas, and number 7, Florida. Great game there. Gonzaga has to go to St. Mary's. I don't know how much people have been able to watch the West Coast Conference, but I was able to sit down the other day and watch Santa Clara and Gonzaga at Santa Clara. And Santa Clara is a legit team. I think right now, if I had to pick a mid-major conference to get 3 teams in outside of the Power 5 in college basketball, it would be the West Coast Conference.
Mm-hmm.
I see Santa Clara, St. Mary's, and Gonzaga making it in. And I honestly could see Santa Clara coming through and winning that tournament. If they end up on the right side of things, if they can end up the 2 seed somehow and jump ahead of St. Mary's and not have to worry about UConn until after they go through St. Mary's in the WCC tournament, they could be a team to come out of there and steal a bid.
Yeah, I agree.
Santa Clara, I believe, still has to go to St. Mary's. I don't think they've played that game yet. But Gonzaga at St. Mary's, we know what that's going to bring. It's going to be a high-energy arena. Mm-hmm. It's going to be an insane atmosphere. It's definitely a game I think I'm going to try to stay up for, with them starting at 10:30. But, I include Sunday in here because it comes out, they play before the rankings.
Right.
You've got Michigan State at Indiana and Purdue at Ohio State on Sunday. Mm-hmm. 2 games that I think could end up being upsets. I still don't understand the hype around Purdue.
Right.
I don't know how much you guys have been able to see Purdue at all, but
I watched them get blitzed by Michigan last week, and I was like, that tracks.
I don't understand the hype.
I don't
keep
either.
Talking about Braden Smith and how great he is, but every time I turn them on, he's been outclassed and outmatched.
Yep.
You guys know how much I hate to say it, but I honestly, right now, if I had to pick a national champion, I think I would go with Michigan. The size and the shooting of Michigan, it is very tough to match up with. And not only that, but their depth. They bring guys in off the bench, and that would start pretty much everywhere except for maybe, Duke and Arizona.
Yeah.
But, I honestly think that Duke makes a deep run this year. They're definitely a team to watch in the coming weeks. The ACC is not as strong as it honestly should be if you look at it on paper. Virginia is kind of back to what we've been used to them being. Bobby, how many years was it really Duke and Virginia and North Carolina fighting it out in the ACC?
Most of the years.
Those have been the 3. When you think of ACC basketball, those are the 3 you put in there. And right now, Virginia's kind of jumped over North Carolina this year. I think North Carolina is a scary team come March. I think get them in the tournament, and I think they could make a run. Virginia plays so slow. You can't waste possessions against them. Mm-hmm. That has been their calling card for years now, is the slow tempo, being able to shoot, playing stellar defense, being able to press when they need to, and just draining you. When they played Ohio State was in that game. They had a very realistic chance of beating them. If Devin Royal doesn't go 2 for 12 from the field, Ohio State more than likely does end up beating them.
Right.
But that Virginia pace, I don't think either team got above 70.
Nope.
It's tough to score when you realize that every possession matters.
Yeah.
And when you get so few of them against a team like Virginia that's able to execute on offense and has a set to be able to score within 5 seconds on the shot clock seemingly every time they come down the floor, they drain a team because it's hard to play defense that long.
Yeah.
It
Now,
really is.
I will say NC State figured out North Carolina because they only allowed 58 points against UNC last week. So, I mean, I would put Virginia Tech on upset watch if I had to say.
North Carolina is so streaky at this point. They're a good team. They've got some great players. They've got a couple guys that I think are going to go high in the draft. But I really just don't see a lot of consistency from them. Now, if they have a cold stretch and go into the ACC tournament and get hot, then I see them as a team that can come in as a 5 or 6 seed and go on a run. I think in the right bracket, they make a run at the Final Four.
I agree. North Carolina's up 72-64 with 2:20 remaining against Louisville.
Yeah, I mean, Louisville is a good team. I don't see them going far. I think there's a lot of matchups that don't favor them, especially when it comes to, I think they're going to end up being a 6 or 7 seed. And you guys know when I look at a bracket, those are the first games I go and look at. Is anything 5 through, 9? What team do I think could go on a run?
Right.
And the teams that they're playing, the 5 and 12 matchup, we see so many upsets with that. The 6-11, 7-10, 8-9 isn't really an upset if the 9 seed wins, but those teams are always so close in comparison that,
Oh yeah.
They always end up being pretty good. But I think if Louisville ends up a 6 or 7 seed, I see them, they have a high probability of getting bounced in the first round depending on their matchup.
Yep. I mean,
I think they could get unlucky and draw a team like St. Mary's in the first round, and you're sitting there going, I can't take Louisville over St. Mary's.
Yeah, no, I agree. St. Mary's is legit, and I think they're more legit than Louisville. I want to talk about your team, though, because you had a good week last week.
We had a good week.
You beat
we
Wisconsin.
kind of ended it on a sour note, not really playing our best at the end of that, in the second half. It seems to be the second half kills us at times.
Right.
The game against Wisconsin was a great game. They stepped on the throat early and did not let up pressure, and Wisconsin was not what I expected them to be.
Okay.
They also were missing their second leading scorer in that game. But when you watch a Wisconsin team in the past, I mean, I sit and look at Frank Kaminsky's team. Ever since and even before Frank Kaminsky, the number one thing that kills you when it comes to Wisconsin has been the play of the bigs. It's always been the play of their bigs that has killed you. And in that game against Ohio State, the bigs didn't do a whole lot. I felt like Ohio State was able to stifle them. I don't think that that's really the strength of their team. It's guard play this year, which when you look at March, the biggest thing to look at when you look at a team trying to make a run, if they end up at 8, 9, or 10, is their guard play. Right. I think that's kind of where Ohio State has an advantage going forward once you get into March, is you look at the guards that they have. I mean, if you can get Mobley back, there's not many better starting guard tandems than Bruce Thornton and John Mobley Jr.
Right.
And, Cupps doesn't score, but he's able to control an offense. That's what he's good at. Chapman can shoot. So, they've got the pieces. Wisconsin, their top 4 guards, I feel like, are really good, and I feel like they're able to propel that team, but they just didn't play good. Their passing wasn't crisp. I didn't feel like their movement on the offensive end was very good. They took a lot of forced shots, it felt like. And, I mean, Bruce was able to do whatever the hell he wanted to on offense. So was Devin Royal.
Right.
They were trying to play 3 guards against that lineup and putting a guard on Devin Royal, and that just doesn't work.
No, not at all.
Royal, while he's only 6'6", he's too big for a guard to try to play it, to defend him.
I agree. But hey, I mean, I think you're like 18-9, 19-8, or something. I mean, you got a solid record.
We're 17 wins. So I think for Ohio State to get in, they've got to get to 20 wins.
20 wins, okay.
I think the key is you've got to win. I think that you still got to go to Penn State. You know what Penn State is? They're the joke of the Big Ten right now. I mean, they are awful. I've seen them live. We shouldn't have been as close with them as we were, but
Yeah.
they were not very good. Iowa, I mean, going to Iowa is always tough.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they have 4 wins or 14 wins or 24 wins. You know that game's going to be a dogfight.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got Purdue coming up. You've got Indiana yet. Those are going to be 2 tough games, but they're at home. You know, so you have a realistic possibility to win 3 or 4 games, get yourself to 20 wins, and then I think you win a game or 2 in the Big Ten tournament. You know, you put yourself in a good spot going forward and making your case for the NCAA tournament.
I think so too. I think if you have a good showing, I agree. You get to 20 wins, which I think you can do. I have some pretty good confidence that you can do that. And I think if you go 1 or 2 rounds in the Big Ten, I think you got a pretty good shot at getting in there. You know, maybe you have like a play-in situation, like the first 4 in kind of thing.
I think for Ohio State to be successful in the Big Ten tournament, they have to propel themselves to the 6 or 7 seed somehow. You've got to win a few games and hope for a couple losses to jump up a few spots.
Right.
Because if you end up the 8 seed, you're going to have to go through Michigan.
Yep.
That's just what it's going to be. And Ohio State played them tough on the road, and that game ended up being more of a higher score than what the game actually was. But I mean, you got your brakes blown off at home.
Yeah. And I mean,
you don't match up well with Michigan. I think Yaxel Lendeborg is going to be a great NBA player. I think Mara is going to turn into somebody's diamond in the rough when it comes to the draft. I don't think he's going to be a first-round pick.
Okay.
It's hard to believe because he's a big guy that can shoot a little bit. I think it's a little bit of the athleticism. He does look slow at times getting down the floor.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly think he's a guy that you've got to look at the end of the first round. If you're one of these teams picking late, and the scary thought is, I mean, he can end up on a team like freaking Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And you're looking at a center tandem of Chet Holmgren and Alex Mara.
It's not bad.
Like that's scary for the NBA. Mara gets beat on the boards too. I think that's the other thing. I mean, you saw Duke out-rebound Michigan, and when you look at the size advantage, it favors Michigan heavily.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, Duke was able to out-rebound them, which should not be the case when you look at that Michigan team.
Yeah. So I want to go over something, and it's not something I thought we'd have a conversation about this year.
Got to send that form to Mom.
We definitely have to talk about the SEC. It is not the team it was a year ago. It's not the conference it was a year ago.
I don't know why. I've been drinking Gatorade all day.
Obviously, you have Florida, who is kind of back to them being themselves, the defending champs. They're 21-6, 12-2 in the SEC. Alabama, I think, is who we thought they'd be. Arkansas is who I thought they'd be. Same with Tennessee. Texas A&M surprised me. Vanderbilt has surprised me. Missouri has surprised me. Texas and Kentucky have been what they are. Georgia, I don't know at this point. Auburn looks completely different from a year ago. It's amazing when you have the Sun take over, how much things are changing. Mississippi State, I don't know what to expect from them. Oklahoma, I thought they'd be a lot better. South Carolina, I thought they'd be a tougher out. Ole Miss, same thing. LSU, they're kind of the dumpster fire of our conference. My point being, for the ladies and gentlemen watching, I believe we had 13 or 14 teams in the March Madness tournament a year ago. We will not have that this year at all. We are not the conference we were for the last couple of years. I will be shocked if there is more than one SEC school that makes it to the Sweet 16. I will be shocked. I really will. I know that's not having a lot of faith, but I look at Florida. They're 21-6, and they've gone 12-2 in the SEC, but they looked rough to start the season. The weaknesses came out at the beginning of the season. They're doing a great job at hiding those weaknesses now, but I still think it's a team that can be had by a lot of these other teams in other conferences. I don't think they would match up against a Michigan. I don't think they have the size, and they definitely don't have the depth. Last year, Florida had the size and the depth to compete with these teams. They don't now. I really don't think they do. Alabama, I mean, it's been the same story the last 4 years, and they're going to try and outscore their problems. And where has that gotten them? Nowhere further than the Sweet 16 of a March Madness tournament. It's going to be the same story, except I think they could be a first-round exit. I really do. We'll see who they play and where they're ranked come March. Arkansas. I don't know what to make of Arkansas. I did not see this coming from Arkansas. I thought they'd be a good team. I didn't expect them to go 10-4 in the SEC though, and be where they are.
They're struggling to find the offense at times.
Yeah, it's streaky. Tennessee is the same fucking thing, and I don't think they have the size that they would ideally want. Texas A&M. God, you put some pressure on them, they kind of fold. You put them in a bind, and you get up early, and you get a little physical with them. They lose their cool. You lose their cool, and they give up points, and you give up points, and they get fouls, and they're one of the SEC leaders in fouls. Team gets in foul trouble. The fact that they're 19-8 is shocking because I think they're doing that to spite themselves. Vanderbilt. This week's going to show me something because I'm going to watch the game. But again, I just don't know. 21-6 is not a very promising 21-6. Missouri, another streaky shooting team. I don't know. I don't know what to think. They look sometimes great, sometimes shit. It's the same thing with Texas. 1 week they're holding it out against a good Florida team, and next week they're getting beat by 12 by Georgia. At home or on the road. Sorry, they went on the road. And it's like, well, fuck. I don't know what to make of this team. They don't play good on the road. They play stellar at home, but March Madness is not going to be in their building. And the SEC tournament is not going to be in their building either. So it's kind of one of those, well, no bueno situations. Kentucky, they keep getting beat at home. They got beat. I think they've lost 2 out of the last 3 at home. It's not good. It's not tournament worthy. Georgia, I mean, they're finally getting back to their winning ways, but I'm not looking at them going, yeah, this is a tournament team that's going to make some noise. No. They lead the nation in blocks still, which is great. It's always a block party. That's awesome. But when Cyril goes off to the bench, they can't rebound for shit. Their rebound differential is terrible. It's one of the worst in the country. And they don't shoot threes well. They never have. They're getting better with turnovers, but yeah. And then Auburn, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Ole Miss, and LSU. Sorry about it. Y'all ain't doing nothing unless y'all somehow win the SEC tournament. And Oklahoma, South Carolina, Ole Miss, and LSU don't even have 5 wins in the SEC right now. So, Jason, I only see Florida going to the Sweet 16. I don't see any other SEC team making it further than the first or second round. And I'm giving Florida the benefit of the doubt because they are a hot team right now and they are the defending national champions. Am I wrong in believing that, or do you see something that I don't? Because I look at the SEC and I'm going, this is
I think
SEC.
if there's going to be another team out of the SEC to kind of make a run, it's either going to be Alabama or Kentucky. I think one of those two teams, Florida could make a run. I don't necessarily see too much from them. But yeah, I honestly think it's going to be Alabama or Kentucky that make a run at things.
Okay.
If Kentucky can get in, that's going to be the big question. Tennessee's got some size. They've got some shooting. They could be a team that if they get hot, they can make a run. But it's all going to depend on the SEC tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels like a whole bunch of these teams are going to be NIT tournament bound come March, So definitely we are it's shocking to say, but we have finally reached a point where the SEC is the weak point, or the weaker conference of the country right here, right? Because Big East basketball is insane, Big 12 is insane. Big Ten's going off right now. ACC's doing work. We are kind of the laughing stock here of the basketball world. And we're just not helping each other out because we're just beating each other up at this point. It's just not helping any of these teams get any votes to go to the tournament when it's time to go round to 64. But if that's all you got, that's all I got for college basketball.
Yeah, that's all I got for now.
All right, well, good people, enjoy your Wednesday morning. We will be back next week for some more college basketball. Big week, college basketball. Make sure you're watching. The Olympics are done. You have no excuse. Go watch. Get on it. And we will see you next week. Goodbye.